It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murray's temporarily indisposed. However, we still have some Murman predictions in the Amazing Murman Predicts segment, and I think you got some other stuff from him.
Yeah, I got his ratings for 2 movies.
So even though he's not here, he's
here
still kind of here.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do my best Murray impression. We'll see how that goes.
Not looking forward to that at all.
No, neither am I, but you know what? They don't pay me for my good looks. Actually, they don't pay me.
They don't pay you at all.
That's true.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Oh, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we'll watch it if it played anywhere in a cinema, anywhere in the world, and it isn't a kids movie. Now, let's get to raging. What the amazing Murman predict? What the amazing Murman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? He's going to tell us what he thought what Jim and Bryce saw for the weekend. He comes swimming to all of you.
All right, so what did the Amazing Merman predict?
Well, the Amazing Merman predicted by just watching the trailers this week, because he didn't. Oh wait, he did see one of the movies with us. So the 3 movies that we're going to be talking about this week are Blood and Honey Part 2, or sorry, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Part 2. Yeah,
I got to say it with a rhyme.
Actually,
it's
2.
like,
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh,
Blood and
Honey
Honey 2.
Part 2.
It's actually just 2.
It's just
I guess.
2. Okay.
Whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
Pooh and 2.
Those rhyme.
It's rhyme. And actually, Murray predicted a double rage.
A double rage.
A double rage. I know. And I said, didn't you see that they'd have money and they'd have lots of ability to remake or whatever they want to call that, make another Pooh movie? So yeah, he thinks we're both going to rage.
So he thinks the Pooh movie that we'll think that it's Pooh.
Exactly.
Huh.
It's number 2 twice.
Got it.
All right, and he predicted Stopmotion, which is another one that we had watched and we all watched together, and it is playing at, or it was playing at one of our local cinemas. So you probably now missed it. Although it seems like everybody else has seen this a couple weeks ago because they got it in mainstream cinemas in the U.S. and we did not.
Yeah, well.
So we finally got it here. Yep. He predicted 2 Mez, and I'm not going to tell you what Murray rated it, but we're going to have his rating later.
All right.
And finally, Godzilla X Kong.
The New Empire.
Yes. Bryce is going to rage, and Jim is going to give it a meh.
Really?
Yep. That's the Amazing Murman predicts. That's the Amazing Murman predicts. He has predicted now.
All right. Ooh.
Perfect timing.
Might as well wait for
Did we
it to dance.
plan this out, or?
There we go.
Apparently we did. All right. So the first movie we saw-ish was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Yeah, baby.
Picked up after the deadly occurrences of the first chapter. We now find Christopher Robin, after surviving the mayhem of Blood and Honey 1, practicing medicine as popular opinion feels that he is a murderer, as the town folk blame him for all the murders that occurred. Well, that is not a lot to take in, or that is a lot to take in, sorry. And then we also find Winnie the Pooh is still killing unsuspecting campers. It's about the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
The special effects are much better this go around, which is evident from the first few minutes as we see some bones getting broken and some faces getting mangled and someone getting burnt alive and all sorts of chaos.
In the first 5 minutes.
I know, and it all looked pretty good.
Yes!
Unfortunately, the absolutely depraved fun of the first scene gets bogged down by way too much story. Pooh and his band of merry animal cohorts looked better this time as well. Although they could still, look even better than they did this time.
Yes, they could.
But they did look exponentially better than the first go around, where it just looked like rubber suits, and it was really quite awful. Even Pooh, even though he had the same basic, he looked a little better, and there was like some hair going on.
There was more Pooh.
It was better. There's really not much to say here. I hated the first one about as much as you can hate a movie, and with the sequel, it is infinitely better, but it's still awful. But at least it looks as though we're gonna get a third installment. That's imminent. And if that is the case, and with how much better 2 was than 1, then maybe if we get that type of improvement again, then Blood and Honey 3 may have a chance of being meh. But as far as Blood and Honey 2, well, it is so much better than Blood and Honey 1, but that still makes it a rage.
Oh, baby. Yeah. So after the first 5 minutes, I thought, holy crap. Apparently them making a ton of money on the last film did allow them to make a much better movie, because the animation, drawings at the beginning, plus the first murder spree, I thought, number 1, this is hilarious.
It really was.
And number 2, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I
wish they could have kept up the pressure. 5 minutes,
yeah. I was so dialed into this movie. I was like,
This is what we wanted.
This is what we wanted from the first one. But then we have this convoluted story where they try to make you think that maybe Christopher Robin was also crazy and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then idiots try to make a lynch mob to find them. What? And they kill Piglet practically 15 minutes into the movie, which was totally stupid. You can't fucking kill Piglet. No, He's like literally the best murderer they had.
Yeah.
And so what do they have to do? They pull out the owl dude. It's like who gets killed by an owl? Yeah. It's like dumb. Piglet was the star of the first movie.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, and with Piglet gone, it just got super boring. So I fell asleep. And then I woke up.
I heard you snore.
Yeah. And then I woke up to a terribly awful ending, just like the last one. So here's the math for everybody at home.
Yes.
Of the 10/13ths I saw of the movie, 1/3 was Mondo, the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
9/13 was a rage.
Yeah.
And then the other 3/13ths where I was sleeping, I'm guessing it was a Mondo. So I carry the 3, multiply by the cosine of the square root of the 9/13ths, and it is still a rage. This movie was terrible. I remember you saying to me, like, I didn't really want to wake you because the movie wasn't good. It didn't get better. So I'm like, well, thank you. That was, at first I was like really mad at you. I'm like, how could you not wake me for this? But then after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Here I thought all this time that, we've been friends for however many years now, and I still think you hate me. But then there's moments like that where I go, you know what? He actually does really like me. He actually allowed me to sleep for the worst part of the movie.
I'm a good friend.
You are the best friend. I can't tell you enough how thankful I was. But the gore parts were fun.
The gore was good. It was like there was stuff and it was pretty well executed all in all.
Yeah.
Like, and it was all practical effects and it was they did it right. But
they just like the story was really terrible.
Yeah.
And they had too much of it. Like if they would have just had them killing campers, what we all wanted to see.
More killing.
And I mean that
it's
kill
Winnie the
scene,
Pooh, blood and honey.
Yeah,
man.
like we wanted blood and honey. Like there wasn't. Was there any honey when I slept?
There's honey at the end. Remember? Because it's gonna apparently. Spoiler alert! It's gonna bring Pooh back to life.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, even though his head's been obliterated.
Magical honey. Yeah. Here's my thought though. Like They find another public domain children's story to destroy? Because these are really not good.
Well, Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie's up for grabs now. Are they going to do something with that?
I hope
like
so.
the original Mickey Mouse.
Oh my God! But I don't want these guys to remake Steamboat Willie. Although
that could be, if that
animation-
was their shtick, though. If that, like, every time something like that came up for, and they did
They were
it,
the first ones to grab it.
that should be their shtick.
That could be their shtick.
But it's I keep on thinking, with the money that they're making, because I think they've done okay with these.
Do you want me to tell you what it's made
Sure.
so far?
I'm actually curious.
Yeah, I'm
with a fairly limited release, because I think pretty much it's not like it's playing it every single time when it comes out. It's kind of event cinema where they're only having a few screenings of it at most theaters, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm on. For those of you who don't go here, I always get my information from Box Office Mojo.
Box Office Mojo.
Whoa, it is not looking good for number 2.
Oh no.
Worldwide, they've made 533,000.
Oh, because there was.
I think there was a budget of maybe $2 million.
Hey man, they made $60 just in the screening that we were in. It's $15 for the ticket. There was 4 of them plus tax.
And then
there was 4 of us in there.
But neither one of us bought popcorn that time.
Yeah.
So they made nothing off that.
Nope.
Suckers. Well, you know what that means.
I do.
Murray was right.
Murray was right.
Ugh. Sometimes. Sometimes you just don't want to give him stuff, but you know what? He
when you're right, you're right.
He knows his stuff.
Yes.
He actually went to Blood and Honey 1 with us, so
yeah, he knew better than to go to the second one.
That's right.
He's like, "What? You're going to that?" Like, yeah, we are.
Yeah, unfortunately, if it's a horror movie,
yeah, we're going. And guess what, Murman? We're going to part 3 too when it comes out.
Exactly. And you're invited, but
yeah, probably.
if you've got a real job by then, maybe you can afford to go.
Yes, you probably still won't.
All right, so we went and saw Godzilla.
Yes, X
Kong,
the New Empire.
Yes. So first to note, I am not a fan of Godzilla and Kong being a new form of superhero. We already have DC and Marvel, and now we have legendary kaiju superheroes.
I kind of like it.
So Kong and Godzilla were meant to be badass motherfuckers who fucked with humanity, and we were to live in fear of them and be grateful we get to live under any lives they allow us to have. So now that that's out of the way,
yep.
I liked how they continued the story concept.
Yep.
Of that they kind of had through Monarch series, but unlike Disney, you didn't have to see Monarch to understand this one.
Correct.
In fact, they didn't actually connect them really. There's not much similarities other than the Kong's new home type scenario.
Yep.
That's it. So there's not really anything connected to it. So you can be perfectly happy in your own universe if you're watching these new superheroes together or apart in their own movies.
Yep.
It's like when Aquaman has his movie and then Superman has his movie. It's like Godzilla has his movie, Kong will have his movie, and then they come together like the Avengers.
Yeah.
With, Mothra and
yes.
and others. Yeah, so,
Mothra.
Yeah. Plus, you have a killer soundtrack, a story that puts indigenous science with magical Japanese kaiju magic in an awesome way. Plus, we get a finale of epic proportions where we get a huge cage match with our favorite kaiju superheroes where they band together to bring peace back to the world. But as much as I loved Kong and his compassion for all living creatures that don't piss him off or get in his way, we also get introduced to his newly adopted son. We get a mother-daughter relationship that made me cry in the end. We get very implied bromance with our podcaster dude and the kaiju vet. And finally, the biggest icing on this motherfucking kaiju cake, we got motherfucking Godzilla showing everyone that as much as they think they can control and tame him, he does whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants.
It's Godzilla.
Just
Deal with it.
Just like me.
You wish.
It's pretty much. He will always be the king of monsters and my favorite monster of all time because Godzilla does not give a fuck about nothing except what he's got to do. And when he's got to do it, he's got to do it. So, and as much as I didn't want to be a lover of Americanized Godzilla, I always forget he's motherfucking Godzilla. And apparently he is also Mondo, unless Ferris Bueller has anything to do with him. And I got some unpacking to do. I love this movie. And in fact, in contrast to us seeing the Ghostbusters franchise out, when I went with my wife to that, and she was afraid to go to this one, but she walked out of this one and said, that was really fun. I liked it.
It was fun.
Yeah. All right. What'd you think?
All right. So I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Nice.
King Kong and Godzilla fighting kaiju and eventually teaming up to save the Earth. What's not to like? Godzilla napping in a Roman Coliseum after a hard day of mayhem and destruction and suplexing monsters. That's good stuff. King Kong getting dental work done by a kaiju dentist was entertaining.
It was the best.
The human element was hit and miss, and the parallel between Dr. Andrews and her adopted daughter, Gia, and Kong and his adopted of sorts little wide-eyed adolescent kaiju ape was underdeveloped and not used to its full potential, which kind of bugged me. The best part of this film wasn't really the monsters creating destruction. That was good stuff. It was the scenes between Kong and his adversary turned little buddy. Every time we saw Kong teaching the little guy a lesson and showing him compassion for the first time in his life was powerful stuff. But we did not get enough of it. I really think they should have fleshed out that relationship because that was the heart of this film.
See, I think this is my thoughts on it, just for my 2 cents on this part.
Yep.
I think it's because we're going to get that in the next Kong movie.
Yeah, maybe. But that's the problem with a lot of this film is that we get a lot, but not enough, in my opinion. No relationship is fully explored. Even the bromance, it's great, but it's not fully explored.
Yep.
And I know that it's a big budget special effects extravaganza, but there was a lot of good human stuff and good kaiju stuff that these relationships I just thought deserved better because on the surface it was all so good, but we didn't dig deep at all. We kind of get the Coles notes of everything. So because of that, I mean, and there's just so much untapped potential to make an emotionally powerful film. All the elements were in place for that. But I guess what we are here to see is kaiju fighting kaiju and causing havoc. And the film did deliver on that front along with a lot of entertaining sequences. And I suppose that should have been enough for me, but I felt more could have been accomplished. The other thing that was a little troublesome was I always felt the Japanese films, the science behind a lot of what was going on was somewhat explained. But in the Yankee versions, we are asked to just kind of accept every crazy theory or technology that is put before us with little explanation. But that's once again a little bit of nitpicking by me. I was very entertained by this. I felt it could have been so much better by digging a little deeper and extending the gradual relationship between Kong and his little buddy. Still, we did get a Mothra sighting, and I tell you, Mothra
equals Mondo.
He is the ultimate voice of reason. If there's peace talks that need to be anywhere,
just
Mothra, bring in Mothra because
he's they. I don't know if they're he or she. They Mothra.
Yes.
Mothra equals Mondo. It's just the way it is.
Mothra almost got me to Mondo because as soon as I was giddy, I was downright giddy when Mothra showed up.
Excuse me, it's Mothra.
Still, Godzilla versus Kong: The New Empire. It was a very, very, very entertaining man. Okay. I just had too many.
I get it.
And it's me. I know I'm nitpicking about a bunch of stuff. And I really like this movie a lot.
Yeah. No. Okay, so did you watch the predecessor to this before you saw the movie?
No.
Did you watch it after? Did you watch
King of Monster? What was the last one?
No, it was Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, Godzilla versus Kong was the last one. No, I just.
So I did
Yeah.
And I think that's why I felt the development of the relationship with the mother and daughter was already there. Because
Okay.
you got a lot of that in the last
I
movie.
remember there being a lot of that.
You got
in
a
the
lot.
movie.
So to me, that evolution of that, and they didn't need to develop that relationship because it had already been developed.
And that's fine, but the
Yeah.
bromance needed to be
Yeah,
developed
see,
better.
I didn't really find
I felt that way, but
I didn't find the bromance needed
And-
for it because they had just enough that you thought
And
those two
and that's-
might have sex, but I didn't need to know if they did or not.
And that's great that Gian and her adopted mother and doctor or whatever her name was. That's great that was developed in the one before that. But then I think we needed more development between, because that was the whole mirror aspect. It was you had these two with the adopted. Now we got Kong and his kind of adopted son.
Yeah, it is. It's probably now like they're his little buddy.
And that was the kind
See,
of.
I was perfectly fine with that.
I wanted more of it. I really did. Because every scene between those two was freaking gold.
It was
gold.
Solid gold. Yeah, solid gold. I didn't need any more. If they had more of that, they would have had to cut Mothra. And so you can't have everything. And I cried between the mother and daughter scene at the end when I don't want to spoil it, but here it goes anyway. But there's a scene at the end where the mother thought that because she found her tribe that she was going to leave her, and she's like, "No, Mom,
you're my home.
You're my home." And even now I'm welling up because as a father and as a grandfather, like those are the scenes that, like, if I thought they did that well, because I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
So you know what? You know what the rule? If I bawl my eyes out, it's going to be a Mondo. So
fair enough. But yeah, no, this whole series has been pretty worth watching. I haven't been a huge fan of the last two, but the first one, the first Godzilla movie, I think it was 2014. Yep. That was excellent.
Yep.
Kong Skull Island is a freaking masterpiece.
Yep.
John C. Reilly, by the way, in that he is just so good.
He's literally mesmerizing if it wasn't up to you.
Man, he was good in that. And then King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, they were okay. But this one was a step forward again, and I'm really looking forward to them continuing this series.
Yeah, and I don't normally say that very often.
Yeah, no, this is good stuff. It's good stuff, and as you say,
what?
Yeah, and as you say, I mean, it's actually striking an emotional chord with you because it's really quite good.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair. So I had some things to unpack.
Yep.
Obviously, Baby Kong is freaking awesome.
He's awesome.
The fact that Godzilla basically kills so many innocent people in this movie was the part that's missing a lot in a lot of superhero movies.
It's like he's just killing.
Godzilla is definitely an anti-hero, and he just did not give a flying fuck about.
And the whole thing, I mean, he ends up being the greater good, but people are gonna go by the wayside of it while he's saving the earth.
It's like even when he's gonna go find a place to go take a nap, or he's got to go suck some energy because he knows he's got to battle this other monster. He's like, you know what? You're in my way.
Yeah,
so
that's just the way it is.
You need to get out of my way.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's saving Earth.
Yeah.
But there's unfortunately there's gonna be some casualties. There's a price to pay.
So try and give an estimate. Well, how many people do you think Godzilla killed? Just Godzilla. Yeah. Not thinking Kong, because Kong killed some by accident. He never intentionally kills people, but he's more conscious about what's going on around him.
Don't give a crap.
Don't give a crap. How many people do you think he killed? Do you think it maybe hit 100,000?
I think it's I think it's half.
They're pretty
that.
highly populated cities.
They are, but I think.
I mean, how many buildings did they take down?
They took quite a few, and even if that, I mean, there's not going to be more than 1,000 people in each of them.
What are you talking about?
Maybe a little more, but
must have taken about 15 buildings.
Yeah,
and then roll it around on the ground.
Yeah. I don't think there's.
I'm going on 100,000.
Nah, maybe 50,000 died.
So they destroyed the city of Lethbridge or the city of Red Deer. Yeah, if you live in Alberta.
Hey, it's a small price to pay for
saving the planet. Yep, I dig it. So, it was unfortunately not a Mondo for you, but it was an absolute Mondo for me.
Still recommend everybody go see it.
Yeah, this is a movie to see in IMAX.
And it's like I saw. Franchise. I did not see. Maybe that's what I missed.
You missed it because we saw an IMAX. Like I am now making the commitment. Yes. If there is a movie that's playing in IMAX that is IMAX quality,
Yep.
I'm going to see it in IMAX now.
All right.
Because it's such a different experience.
All right. Fair.
All right. Well, we also saw Stop Motion.
Stop motion.
Oh, by the way,
Yep.
Murray gave Godzilla
Oh.
X Kong.
Yes. I say...
The New Empire.
I say... Ooh, that's... I'm going to say he mondoed it.
He gave it a man.
Ah, crap.
Close.
So once again, me and Murray agree. I don't know why he's always saying, "Oh, we never agree." When all we do is agree.
That's what I keep saying that.
Yeah.
It's just you get there.
He's got it in his head.
Different ways.
Exactly. Just because we come at things from completely different viewpoints
and have completely different vision, and
Yeah.
his
and
ideas are
his
sometimes
reason for
random.
giving it a whatever is totally different from my reason for giving it a whatever. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're still agreeing.
Sometimes yours are super stupid, and sometimes his are super stupid.
No, mine are always grounded
No, yours are
in
dumb.
a tremendous amount of reason.
No, sometimes, but sometimes they're really dumb. Really dumb.
I know not of
like
what you
Baby
speak.
Godzilla's was a reason to give a
Oh
terrible
yeah,
movie.
totally. It's meh.
Exactly.
It's a Baby Godzilla.
That's literally my pleaded case for everything now.
Baby Godzillas. They're awesome.
All right, tell us what you think of Stop Motion.
All right, I will. Stop Motion is a debut film from director Robert Morgan, and what a debut it is! Taking stop motion animation with puppets made of flesh and combining that with a story that examines the intimacy that exists between art and artist, and then throw in some of this crazy stuff that this intimacy could potentially yield, and then you have yourself a movie. Our lead character, Ella, will go to any lengths, given the right encouragement, to bring her art to life. The whole film revolves around the irony of her propensity to be a puppet of sorts herself while using puppets in her art. And as is common knowledge, when the project is done, the puppet goes back in the box. This film was an original concept with just the right amount of gore and a perfectly cast lead. The rest of the cast was okay. The lead was perfect.
She was brilliant.
But I absolutely love this movie. It was a no strings attached mondo. I really, really, really enjoyed this.
Nice. Well, let me tell you what I thought of this.
All right.
Actually,
sir.
before I do, I'm going to tell you what Murray thought of this. Any hastens to guess what Murray gave this?
Murray. In this case, I am going to say if he probably gave it a rage.
So he almost gave it a rage.
Because I know he
But
didn't like it.
He did not love this movie, and possibly, well, a lot of it had to do with he was confused through most of it.
Oh.
And horror is not a genre that
Yeah.
Murray loves. So, but he said, you know what? The quality of the film was definitely worth a meh. So, there you go. So first of note, this film is a vegan's worst nightmare. So much meat,
pretty
symbolism, and cutting of meat, which includes a lot of steak and also human flesh. The music is creepy as fuck, and there is a CLF. For those of you who have not listened to us forever, a CLF stands for creepy little fucker. In this, that is also very creepy. Basically, an emotionally and mentally abused daughter who also happens to be a stop-motion animator for her mom, who
Yes.
does not have the use of her hands. The daughter seems to be triggered by her mom's sudden hospitalizations, possibly because of years of abuse, but also possibly because she has been the hands of her mom in her stop-motion projects, possibly for years. She slowly starts to unravel, but with the help of her trusty CLF, she seems to find herself unraveling
Yes.
at a I want to say not a stop motion pace. But it's quickly apparent that the CLF is not even real, but is possibly her inner child or her past self or her conscious psyche, which is completely fucked up and bent on murder.
Oh, is she?
Oh, yeah. By the time we get midway through this film, our main character is a hot mess. Seeing her animated characters intermixed with her reality and seeing life in stop motion and basically putting her mind inside her film, which seems to be someone's worst nightmare for a film, with characters made of meat and mortician's glue, that the characters are enough alone to give you nightmares, let alone what they're doing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The gore effects in this is pretty amazing.
They're really good.
Yeah, they really got the cutting and the meat work, I'm putting this in quote, meat work, done super well. But the blood part I found wasn't that good. It's really tough to do good blood work in horror films. Like, unless you're using real blood, I have yet to see a movie that does good blood.
Yeah,
like, it just, I almost feel, now I'm not going to say CGI blood is better, but I want to say that when it's fake blood and it's not looking good, I don't like it at all. So I don't know what the solution for this. Maybe just get someone's real blood. Like, you could probably get the actors to each give a pint and it would just be their own blood. Why don't they do that?
I don't know.
Right? Because, I mean, people give blood. Or if they donate enough blood, then they could just donate more blood to the blood banks or whatever. Right? Sure. Like, it seems good. Just everybody give a little bit of their own blood. And then, like, we use that because it looks real.
That's a lot of blood talk.
You know what? That's what I'm proposing next time we see a movie. Because the blood in this was terrible.
All right.
But it's got the creepiest puppets from any movie ever made, a wackadoo artist who makes a pretty awesome short film, which we get to see being made throughout the film, and an ending that's pretty freaktastically awesome.
Yep.
This is a bit of there was a bit of story issues that I had of the interactions with our lead that comes off a bit forced, but I got past that because she was coming unglued for the whole movie. So maybe it wasn't necessarily her reality that was happening. So I gave it a little bit of, I guess, release on that. Because some of the storylines between her and the people she was interacting with wasn't fully developed, but I kind of gave it a little bit of credence because of her unraveling. Like, you don't know how much of it was real, I guess. Yep. I wasn't bored at all through this whole movie.
No.
And these were the creepiest puppets ever made.
They're so good.
Yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Like, me too. It was also a Mondo.
It's so good.
Unfortunately, Murray didn't give it a Mondo, so we don't get to push a button or anything. But
no button pushing.
some parts moved along a little choppy, I found, but her decline was pretty well paced through the film. Like, it wasn't like all of a sudden it just like she went over an edge. It was like so gradual her decline.
We went through that journey with her. We understand why she was going where she was going.
Oh yeah. I do understand that. Can see where Murray might be lost on this though, because I mean, he doesn't like movies where he doesn't know which is reality and which is not, which you and I both love. I really don't need to know what's reality.
Well,
and what's
exactly.
not.
If I come out of the movie and I'm still kind of confused, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's made the movie an instant Mondo because I don't know.
It's like, what did I just watch?
Yeah,
Mondo.
So who do you think the CLF was for her? Because it's not a ghost. It's definitely
it's
her.
not a ghost. It's something within her mind, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's her. I actually didn't think it was anybody. I thought it was just the manifestation of she needed in her head. She's like, okay, the only way I can get this done, and it was automatically triggered.
Personality.
Is I need a puppeteer to start pulling my strings, and I think that is just what she came up with.
She was able to manifest it.
Yeah, without even knowing it.
Yeah. Could be, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love that about it, because you don't really... I think it's probably the second scene that the girl isn't... Like, we're not telling you something that's a surprise to anybody. If you get to the end of this movie and you didn't realize that the little girl was not real, then you obviously didn't see the whole movie. Because you can tell kind of on the second scene you get to see the little girl, because people walk right past her. Yeah. So
the third, what the heck was I gonna say?
The third act, the third frame,
probably by the
stop motion.
About by the third time we actually see the little girl, she starts displaying, I think, some characteristics of the mother too. So I think she's kind of incorporating the mother into that character a little bit as well, because all of a sudden She's kind of making her do stuff that she
Abusing
doesn't want
her?
to do and abusing her a little bit.
Nice.
She's
Trying
taking
to
it
control her.
like a puppet.
Yeah, taking it like a puppet. Yeah, the meat scene with her leg was probably one of the best scenes.
So good.
Meat scenes in a movie.
Yeah. No, as I say, there was a sufficient amount of body horror, which is always welcome. All the special effects were great.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody should see this movie in
Yes.
cinemas if you can.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
If not, then see it on a giant screen at home.
Yeah.
Because I think it's coming out very soon on VOD.
It'll be on VOD, and eventually I would imagine it's going to be on Shudder, because wasn't it
Yeah, I
produced
think
by
you're right.
Shudder, I
Yep.
believe?
I think you're right.
Maybe. I think so.
I think you're right.
Yep. Doom, 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 doom. All right.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
So, my rage this week, seeing as how I gave out 2 Mondos this week, the rage that I have is going to be related to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, only because I didn't have anything else that was happening in my world that caused me to rage. So, my rage is going to be, if you're going to come out and put 5 minutes of solid Mondo quality 5 minutes into a movie, and then
What a
you
start.
and then you shit the bed. That first 5 minutes, if they would have made that a short,
Yes.
that would have been my favorite short of the year.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of shorts, and that because the animation they did at the beginning,
The
with
animation
how
was
they
great,
how they
yeah.
brought that in, they spent money on the animation.
Yep.
They spent money on that bone crack scene that was
Yep.
it was so brilliant. I've never seen bones bend like that, because I think they were just rubber, but it was super
Looked
awesome.
good.
It looked so good. So yeah, my rage is going to be why would you do that? Why would you put that much effort into the first 5 minutes of a movie and then just take a giant number 2
For the
poop
rest of
all
it,
over the rest of the movie? What's the deal?
Oh,
That's my rage. If you're
That
going to
is
do
fair.
5 minutes of awesome, just keep it going.
yes. If you can do 5, why not do 90?
Yeah. Or don't even do 90. Do
Do
77.
77.
Yeah, exactly. You only need another 72 minutes.
Yes. Just whatever is long enough to call it a feature.
That's right.
Just do that.
Just have Winnie the Pooh and number 2 on that. Don't kill fucking Piglet. I'm sorry.
That was dumb.
That was the dumbest scene of any movie ever.
It's what? Piglet's gone. He's the heart of this
he was
whole
the heart
damn
of the
thing.
whole movie. I know. And then also, what was bothering me about? There's a lot that bothered me in the parts that I actually got to see.
Yes.
But the one part that bothered me the most is that they'll have people out in the woods, and then all of a sudden they get isolated. They're all together, and then all of a sudden it's all of a sudden there's a Pooh or an owl or a piglet there, and they kill the one person, and they're like, well, they're all there together. It's like they went to a soundstage and decided they're going to isolate this one person and kill them. All that part was just ugh, it doesn't even make sense. Just rush them. There's 3 of you and 3 of them.
Yeah.
Wackadoo. And don't kill Piglet. That's my rage.
All right. That's fair. Alright, my rage is pretty boring this week. What else is new? I'm not really that angry these days. I'm sure something's gonna tick me off soon, but
Nothing?
no, I've got something. It's I think I mentioned it to you. For some reason, when I'm part of the Cine Club, and when I log
Yes.
on, when I actually literally pull up my profile on the computer, it says that I'm only granted one $9.99
Yeah.
admission per screening, when clearly on their rules or their lists of
Printed documentation. Yeah.
It says that you get $9.99. You get yourself and a guest. You can go $9.99
as many times as you want.
Yeah, for each individual screening. So I'm confused as why. And if when I look at Jim pulls up his and it says he's got 2, and there's a big number 2 there. When you pull up mine, there's a big number 1 there, and I still don't know why. And I don't really want to phone them because I hate phoning. But I'm gonna have to.
I can phone for you.
I'm gonna have to talk to someone.
When we're out Monday night, I'll talk to them for you.
All right,
I'll say my friend has lost his voice.
Yes.
Because he's a baby.
Yes.
And then I'll phone for you. And they're to be the sweetest people. Like the people that answer the phone for Cineclub are literally the nicest people that have ever lived.
Right.
Like.
But yeah, it's very strange. Like it's some sort of weird glitch that all of a sudden I only get 1 admission for $9.99.
Maybe you signed up first before they actually had.
No, because I've done it a tons of time where I've gotten 2 $9.99. It's just recently, all of a sudden, now I just got 1.
Did you piss them off or something?
I must have said so.
Yeah,
I have said a few things on the podcast about Cineplex.
Well, we all have, and mine's still okay.
There you go. And Burry just absolutely blasted them. So, I mean, honestly, Cineplex, you're all right.
Yeah, I mean, you're. Without them, we wouldn't get a lot of the art house films, unfortunately, because as much as we prefer Landmark as a cinema, as far as a cinema programming, they're more mainstream.
They are more mainstream. They don't get the art house stuff.
Which is unfortunate because that's probably why they're probably making more money per cinema than Cineplex is, because they're bringing stuff in that, not everybody goes to see. Although, just bring in more Korean films because apparently people are going to go see those.
Yeah, they will.
Because they sell out all the time.
Yeah, there was a lot of people in the last one we went to.
Just bring in, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Just get rid of all the American films and just bring me Korean films. That's make this.
Get rid of all the American films and just bring me Korean.
Or Japanese. I'm fine with that.
The problem is, Jim, and you always forget the fact that when we get a Korean or a Japanese film, the fact that it's made it here means that it's worth seeing.
It's been filtered.
They don't exactly. It goes through a filter that all this other stuff that's just total garbage from there, because they probably make some bad movies. I know you want to believe that they can do no wrong.
I've never seen a bad Korean film,
but there's probably 1 or 2 out there. We just don't get them here.
So you think there may be Blood and Honey? From Korea?
Yeah, there might have been the Korean Blood and Honey. I don't know. Everybody had the right to make a Winnie the Pooh movie, so maybe they did.
Look for it. And if there is,
Korean
I'm
going
to watch it, and I'm going to come back and let everybody know.
All right. Do that.
Tell you the difference.
Yeah, I don't even know what my rage was now. We've gone off the rails.
It was your number one Cineclub thing. And also you're raging at yourself for being a baby and not phoning them like months ago when you found it out.
Right. It wasn't months ago.
So ultimately you're raging at yourself.
3 weeks ago.
Ultimately you're raging at yourself for being a big baby. See, that's what I heard.
You are just twisting everything. I don't. Now you're making me rage.
Nice.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
We have anything? Oh yeah, we do have a list.
Yeah, we did. We saw a movie. Murray charged us.
I feel like I've watched this movie a lot.
We did, and you know why we did?
I don't remember.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Can I guess?
Yes, you can guess.
My guess is that at some point there might have been a Mesmerized off between Forrest Whitaker and Mads Mikkelsen.
That's exactly what it was.
And for some reason, Riz Ahmed wasn't on the list.
It wasn't mesmerizing at the time. So,
okay. See, I remember stuff.
Yeah, you do.
I remember a lot.
The once time.
That's pretty good though.
That was, you know what? It was super amazing because as I was thinking it, I'm like, I know exactly what happened. It's not like I'm upset because this movie is by far still, every time I watch it, it is by far, because even the two, what's the line he says? I am the force and the force is with me. I am the force. Those two dudes, I mean, come on. Them alone, they should have had their own movie. And why they're making all this other crappy Star Wars crap, and they didn't
crappy Star Wars
and
crap.
They should get the entire cast of Rogue One and see their backstories. That's the only story I want to see. The only movie that counts in Star Wars to me is Rogue One. All the rest of them are terrible.
Well,
Because it's all about the Force and all this crap that, it's like, sometimes the Force works if I try harder, and then most of the time this Force doesn't work. Like, I'm going to, guess what?
true.
You need to find a scooter to go across this water when I can carry bricks with my mind. Like,
Yes.
carry your fucking self over the top of the river. Don't be worrying about finding scooters that go across water. Just mind force yourself anywhere. Like,
you make a good point, Jim.
yeah. So this movie is by far the best Star Wars movie, and I'm never gonna. No one can argue with me that it isn't.
I won't.
Because every single person dies in it, which is the way it should be in reality.
People die.
Everybody dies. It's not just people. It's
Everybody.
all of our heroes die.
Yes.
Even that robot dude.
Robot dude. Dead.
And I was super sad to watch this movie.
Someone's got to go.
Someone's got to go, and it's Mads Mikkelsen.
It is Mads Mikkelsen's gone. Riz Ahmed is just
He was
just
too good in this movie.
He's
Oh
just
my
too good
God.
in everything. Like
I'm
I
still
don't-
debating
I'm-
you on the last week, but you know
Yeah.
what?
he
I
was,
think John C. Reilly took him out, but
yeah.
since it wasn't unanimous, unfortunately, Riz Ahmed's. Well, even fortunately, I still love Riz
Yeah,
Ahmed.
yeah,
So
Riz
it's not like
Ahmed's
I'm
so good.
sad.
Yes. All right.
And
well,
he did produce Flea, the best movie from 2 years ago.
There you go.
So he just keep whatever he
I
does.
forgot he produced that, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Riz Ahmed is
He's awesome.
a genius. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's an amazing actor, and I love him
Seems
so
like-
much.
Seems like a good dude.
Yeah, he does seem like a good dude. Like I don't normally want to meet famous players,
Yeah.
famous people, because I just don't think anybody's cooler than you and I and Murray.
There you
So
go.
it's like whatever. But he's a guy I'd like to meet.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
anytime he takes a role, like even when he takes a Star Wars role, you
Yeah,
know,
he
still,
makes a difference.
It's just, but he totally does, and he just brings it every time. Like he's just so good.
I mean, the cast in this movie was fantastic. Like there was brilliant. But you know what? The thing is that not everybody else in the movie is mesmerizing. So
Yep.
like maybe 5 years. 10 years from now, some of the actors, we might have to come back and watch this movie again.
Again.
Because we go, hey,
So be
remember
it.
so-and-so from you know what and what's her face? They've been pretty
Remember so and
mesmerizing.
so
in their
from
last-
you know what and what's her face?
Yeah, fine. And we're like,
I don't think that
they're
sentence
pretty
made any
mesmerizing.
sense,
And then
but
you'll be
okay.
like, yeah, they have been
were,
mesmerizing
yeah.
in their last 5
So
years.
what have they been against? We got to watch Rogue One again. All right, let's do
Because
it.
we weren't really. I mean, when you're breaking down a Mesmerize off,
Yep.
you're just looking for the. I mean, not like I fast forwarded to things, but I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
you
I
just-
mean, if you got to
come on,
go
let's
up and
get-
grab a snack, you go up and grab a snack.
When Mads
You're
or,
not- you're-
or Riz is not.
You
in
know they're
screen.
not in it for a while, and you got to take, you got to go to the washroom. Then you're not going to hit pause. You can go to the washroom, come back. It's fine.
Because they're not. They're not. Your two mesmerizers aren't there. But that robot was pretty mesmerizing
He
too.
was
I
so
gotta say,
good, yeah.
he's literally the best robot too.
Yeah.
Like he's just.
I think he kind of takes me by surprise every time. I don't forget about him, but
Yeah.
I forget how good he is.
I know, because he's a smart ass mofo.
Yeah.
Like he's so good. Like every other Star Wars robot is like
Yeah.
made for children. I feel that Rogue One was not made for children
Yeah, no, but it
as
wasn't-
much.
Yeah, I would concur with that. That's why it's just
Right?
a Star Wars story.
Oh, it's so good.
It really was.
Yeah. All right.
And
Well,
then they followed that up with Han Solo, another
the worst
Star Wars
the worst
story.
Star
and that
Wars
was
story
just
that's
like,
ever been made.
Like, why you just stay? You're still in that universe, but let's leave all those characters to
Die.
To die.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just come back and
Just
redo the
die.
origin stories of all the people from Rogue One. That's
There you
all.
go.
That's the only Star Wars movies I want to see, and
Nice.
The Mandalorian because they got Grogu on there.
Grogu's
Like if you
awesome.
don't, yeah, just do Grogu and Rogue One story spin-offs. That's it. That's all I want to see.
I like it.
All right. Well, and since Murr isn't here this week, he's not going to charge us. Plus, we got a pretty full week next week with 4 movies in cinema. So
That's a lot of movies.
yeah.
All right, sir. I guess we'll move on.
Last week on Rage or Dare, Bryce pulled from Jim's bag the 54,000. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I need to get the accounting right. I mean, $49,000 box office goldmine, the 2020 film Disturbing the Peace, which may or may not be a Western, an action film, or a thriller. Perplexing. This week, it's back to Jim, where he can choose to rage or dare or Casey. Now let's check in with Bryce, the lover of all films action, and see if Devon Sawa and Guy Pearce gave us $49,000 worth of action, or will this be more like RoboCop, where I'd buy that for $1.
You would be overpaying if you bought that for $1.
I love Casey. Can we just stop for a moment and say that, you know what, our podcast would be nothing without Casey. Let's face it. We get a minute of him every week, and that's all I need.
Casey's fine.
He's like the robot in Rogue One. He's always delivers.
Casey, you're fine. You're welcome to be on the podcast, but Jim's constant gushing makes me uncomfortable. I don't understand.
Hey, I'm not touching you inappropriate right now.
You're just fine. And I do thank you for doing that for us every week, but let's not overdo it. Podcast would be nothing without Casey. At any rate,
there's an argument for that, but go on.
Yeah, everybody's just fast forwarding to hear Casey's intro and then turning it off. All right, Disturbing the Peace stars Guy Pearce as Marshal Jim Dillon, who doesn't carry a gun anymore because, as we learn from a flashback, he shot his partner and paralyzed him for the rest of his life. So now he is upholding law and order in the sleepy town of Horse Cave without a gun. But then one day, Scorpio comes to town. Yeah,
Scorpio.
Scorpio. The guy's named Scorpio. And him and his gang of thugs are up to no good. Scorpio is played by Devon Sawa, and he hates Horse Cave. You know, the town. It's called Horse Cave.
Really?
Apparently it's really
Horse
a town.
Cave?
Yeah, I think it's really a town, actually. And you know why he hates Horse Cave?
No.
Me neither. They never divulge that. I have no idea why he doesn't like this town, but he's gonna rob a armored truck that stops at the local farmer's bank.
What?
And in order to do this, he cuts the power to the entire town and takes the whole town hostage in the local church.
What?
And apparently, the whole town consists of about 12 people.
What?
Now, they
have a bank with 12 people?
Well, this is a pretty big town, but I guess the thousands that live there must have all gone on vacation because we see like 12 people.
So spring break? They're all down in Florida?
It's possible. And that would seem to be the old... Baxter just stole the Kleenex. Enjoy that, Baxter.
Boogers.
It's got boogers in it. At any rate, that would seem to be the only explanation that everybody left town on vacation, is there was literally no one there. There were even more members of the gang than there were citizens. And why would they need to take the town hostage anyway to rob an armored truck?
Huh?
What does that have to do with anything?
Or the price of tea in China.
Anyways, the marshal eventually sneaks away, goes home, and dramatically gets his guns that he hasn't picked up
like
since
John Wick,
since shooting his partner. Yeah, all those years before. Then there's a lot of shooting, and a fat lady gets murdered for some reason. I don't know what this director has against fat ladies.
Was she like was she a screen for somebody, like a shield?
No, he just shot her right in the head, point blank. It was very strange. And eventually Marshal Jim gets on a horse and starts firing off his rifle as he gallops in pursuit of the bad guys. This was just terrible. It made no sense. But I did learn that once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's a given.
And saying that is all you need to do to convince one of the bad guys to join the marshal and turn on his gang members.
What?
What? I don't know what's going on.
So there's a gang.
Yeah.
And the guy was a Marine.
But he used to be a Marine, and once a Marine, always a Marine.
So that's all he had to say.
So now he's gonna fight his gang.
It's like one of those secret words that
I guess
activates the
and maybe,
Marine.
And that's the thing. They needed to like explain that that's what it was, because that would make sense, sort of. This made no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
So anyways, I could break down the ridiculousness of every single scene in this film, but that would take about 3 hours, and there's no way I'm talking about this completely awful film for that long. Disturbing the Peace was a rage. I hated this movie.
Yes.
Everybody was awful in it.
Yes.
It was total garbage.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there watching it going, I know I watched it before, and I must have, it must be like post-traumatic disorder. Yeah, and I've like blocked it from my mind, and I don't like remember it at all because I'm watching it. And I know I watched it.
So
before.
were you one of the $49,000 that went into?
Yeah, they probably got $10 or $12 from me. Yeah. So I was a pretty significant percentage apparently if it's overall gross. It was really like, this is probably, of all the rage movies that you've made me watch.
Yeah.
This was like top 3.
Nice.
Like, this was that bad.
I am so happy right now.
It was painful to watch. And watching Guy Pearce just fumble his way through this.
Just
I'm
FYI.
like, dude.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
That's like the least of the things you have to worry about in my bag.
Oh, excellent. Well, then I'm looking forward to some excellent cinema. But yeah, no, this was really bad. You done good, kid.
All right. Well, I would pull from Bryce's bag this week, but apparently that's been empty for like a month.
I got to put some stuff in it.
I'm going to save Casey for us because
right.
it's always fun when you share some Casey. You know what? I'm going to pull from the Dare bag from our listeners, which is almost also empty.
I haven't done that in a while. There's still quite a few in there. What are you talking about?
This one looks pretty tasty.
What is it?
I will be watching
Yes.
the movie.
Yes.
Haven't I watched this already? Kangaroo Jack?
I think you did.
Did I?
I think someone did. I'm pretty sure it was you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Plus,
pull another one.
It's arguable that's a kid's movie anyways, which
Nice.
you'd watch pre-rule. So you dodged one bullet just to get.
Oh, great.
Yes.
I am also not happy about this. I will be seeing Tron, not the original,
Legacy.
Legacy.
Nice.
Possibly the worst the Dude films ever made.
All right.
I'm not going to lie. I hated this movie so badly when I saw it in IMAX.
I think you should have just shut up when you pulled Kangaroo Jack and watched it again. Although it's pretty awful too.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than Tron Legacy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever I get you to, I didn't even pick Tron Legacy for you. That's how not terrible that you're gonna get.
Yes. That's kudos to the
Dare,
Dare bag this time.
Yeah, usually
good on the
it's
listeners.
A bag of meh, but
yeah,
they got it right this time.
nice.
Good times. Well, we missed Murr this week, but hopefully we'll get to see him next week. And yeah, this is a fun week. I
was
gotta
fun.
say, we got to see some good horror movies.
Yeah.
And Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Wow. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, our god of rage, and the nerdy photographer for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.